Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Aftab Mandal and in this video I'm going to talk about the object-oriented programming concepts in Java. So object-oriented programming is a paradigm which is based on the concepts of objects and classes. Whenever we are talking about object-oriented programming, the six concepts arises like they are object, classes, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. So these six are the main concepts in which object-oriented programming is based. So apart from these, there are other concepts like cohesion and coupling, and compositions and aggregation and association. We will talk about them later in this video. So first, let's talk about the main concepts of object-oriented programming. So first, as we are talking about object, so the first concept comes here is object. So object is, we can say that it is a real world entity. Anything which has its physical state or its logical state can be considered as an object. For take an example like if a pen or bag, we can say that these are the objects. It can be physical or logical. If it is taking space or it has some information, we can consider it as object. Then we have classes. We can say that class is a blueprint from which objects are created, or we can also say that a class is a collection of objects, and then we have another concept, that is polymorphism. Polymorphism refers to performing single task in many different forms. We achieve polymorphism with the help of method overriding and method overloading in polymorphism, and that is polymorphism. Next concept in OOP is inheritance. So if a class acquires the properties of another class, then it is known as inheritance. And then the next concept is abstraction. Abstraction means hiding the implementation and showing the functionality only. In this, only the important parts are showed, and the rest of the things which are not important to the user is hidden behind the abstract classes. So, and then we have encapsulation. Encapsulation is used to save passwords. Like if we have some very private information which we don't want to show to the users, so we make that information private and access it via getters and setters. So encapsulation, we bind that information inside a private method, and we don't let that information to be accessible by other classes or objects. So that was the main four pillars and the main concepts in object-oriented programming. Apart from that, we have coupling. So coupling refers to if there is a relationship between class. For let's say that if a class has properties and information of other class, it can be said as it is tightly coupled. But as a programmer, our goal should be to achieve loose coupling. This can be achieved with the help of interfaces. So that even if there is an error in one particular class, so that our whole program won't get affected by that. And then we talked about coupling, and then we have cohesion. If we write the whole program in one method, that is considered as highly cohesive. But if we use that same logic with number of methods, or if we divide that logic in number of parts, or we use multiple methods, it is considered as it is weakly cohesive. So that was all about coupling and cohesive. Apart from that, we have association. Association refers to that where an object can interact with other object, with one object or many objects. So in this we have composition and aggregation. Aggregation states that where one object can have part of its information in the another object. It is also called as weakly associated. It means that if both of them are separated, then both the objects are alive. It means none of them gets affected as much But if we talk about composition, one object is totally dependent on the other object. For example, human and heart. If heart is taken out from a human, then both of them will be dead. Same goes in composition, where both of the objects are dependent on each other. It is also called as strongly associated with each other. So that was all about the OOPS concept. We talked about the 4 pillars and we talked about object and classes. And apart from that, we also talked other concepts of which are used in Java. So that was all from my side. This is Aftab Mandal. I hope you like this video. I will meet you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.